The other person who seems to be very important in terms of personality-driven politics is also former President Nasheed.
Right.
There have been some reports that he may form or join the government under Dr. Muizu. What is your reading on this issue, and how do you think the party politics will play out in this kind of adjustments or arrangements?
Okay. No, Nasheed has been someone very interestingly after he got out from the MDP. He has been very flexible in terms of his alliances, right? Some days you could see him going with Jamhuri Party, some days you could see him sitting with MNP, some days you could see him sitting with PPM, PNC. Eventually, what he did is he tried to put a common front against MDP, right? And I think that failed. But in the coming months, we also see some kind of compromises and joint collaboration against the government within PPM, PNC, and the Democrats and the MNP and all the other parties which were basically contesting against Soli. In the lead up to elections, I think the Democrats happy with whatever outcome they had. I think it was pretty much anticipated that the Democrats might end up third or fourth, but I think Jamhuri Party got a massive blow from what they had not anticipated, and the Democrats became the new kingmakers. They tactically used it to get what they wanted, and that's precisely get the parliament to pass a motion for referendum, and they did it, right? And after that, they stayed neutral, again, very tactically saying that we don't have anything to do with both the fronts. You can figure out the fight by yourself. My support is still to the Democrats. My support is still to Labib, who has been eliminated. But this is what Nasheed said. And once the election results were out, I think probably Nasheed came to a realization that, you can only get your resolution passed. You can only get your, your relevancy in the political landscape as long as you stay in the political field. If you're with MDP, you will be relevant as an opposition. If you're with PPM, PNC, you will be relevant as someone who is in the administration. Nasheed also hinted MDP that is happy to join, although MDP rejected it. And at the same point of time, there were negotiations between Nasheed and PPM, PNC for a long time that Nasheed might join PPM, PNC, or not join, but collaborate with PPM, PNC in terms of electoral alliance. In the lead up to second round of elections, I think Yamin refused to meet Nasheed for obvious reasons of personality differences. But after that, I think there was still some back channel negotiations going on between Yamin, Muizu, and Nasheed. So I think what Muizu was scared of is probably the referendum that might come into place, and if in chance the referendum might get a say of yes, which is basically have a parliamentary kind of system, the precedent will be just symbolic, and it would be a massive blow for PPM, PNC. After having invested 5 years in ousting the MDP government, what would they do next if they're a mere puppet, or if they're mere rubber stamp, right? In terms of reduction of their powers. And Nasheed, I think Nasheed nullified that by saying that we will let Muizu assemble his administration, and we are postponing the referendum as of now. So I think that he has nullified whatever concerns that PPM, PNC had. And in return, I think PPM, PNC is hoping to have him in administration. But also, let's be honest, PPM, PNC doesn't have any numbers in the parliament. Around 58 people are from MDP out of 87. So that's a super majority of anyway squad there. And even combined with PPM, PNC, they're just 8 members of parliaments. If you combine with the other 2 parties which joined them, it makes them up to 13. And only by having the Democrats, they could come up to 26, which is still a smaller number, but they can still get their numbers, right? And without these numbers that can oppose MDP, I don't think Muizu will be able to pass anything to the parliament till 2024 elections come ahead. And I think this is a sheer calculation between PPM, PNC to have Nasheed on his side, and Nasheed on his side to have PPM, PNC to be relevant, and also to get his referendum passed through.